In a world where the impossible often found a way to happen, a realistic-looking fat, chubby, and fluffy ginger cat, wearing stylish sunglasses, lived in a cozy cottage at the edge of a peaceful forest. Known across the land for her cool demeanor and unmatched confidence, she was no ordinary feline. She was a legend in her own right. One sunny afternoon, as she lounged on her porch sipping milk from a tiny teacup. Yes, milk, not out of a bowl. A loud crash shook the trees. The ground trembled, and from the dust emerged none other than the Hulk Green, massive, and clearly in a bad mood. But this wasn't just any Hulk. He was under a strange magical spell that made him see all small creatures as annoying, squeaky toys. And right in front of him, trembling behind a tree, was a little white rabbit with wide eyes and twitching ears. The ginger cat stood up slowly, placing her teacup aside with great care. She adjusted her sunglasses, took a deep breath, and let out a meow, so powerful it echoed through the hills, a sound that said, "You shall not pass." The Hulk blinked. "Kitty?" he rumbled, confused. She didn't flinch. With a flick of her tail and a glare sharp enough to cut steel, she launched herself into action. Dodging a thunderous stomp, she used her fluffy bulk to cushion the little rabbit's escape behind a bush. Then, with surprising agility, she leapt onto a low branch, then onto the Hulk's shoulder, and began batting at his ear with swift, precise paws. The Hulk roared in frustration, trying to grab her, but she was too fast, or maybe too fluffy to take seriously. As he swatted at air, the spell began to weaken, broken by the absurdity of being bested by a cat who looked more suited for naps than battles. Finally, the Hulk stumbled back, the magic lifting. He looked down at the tiny cat now sitting calmly beside the rabbit, licking her paw like nothing had happened. "Cute kitty," he muttered, scratching his head before walking away with a sheepish grin. From that day on, the tale spread far and wide. Never underestimate a motherly, sunglass-wearing fluffy ginger cat, especially when she's defending the helpless. In a quiet corner of Metropolis, where the noise of the city softened into peaceful suburbia, a realistic-looking fat, chubby, and fluffy ginger cat wearing stylish sunglasses stood proudly in a sunlit kitchen. Her name was Marmalade, a feline of many talents, few responsibilities, and one very mysterious past. But today, she had a mission, baking the perfect cake. And strangely enough, she wasn't alone. Superman hovered gently above the floor, his cape draped behind him, as he carefully cracked eggs with super precision. "So," he said with a smile, "you really are a chef." Marmalade meowed approvingly, nudging a mixing bowl closer with her nose before hopping onto the counter with all the grace of a seasoned pastry master. She dipped a paw into the batter, tasted it, and looked up at Superman with a critical stare, the kind only a true foodie could deliver. "Not sweet enough," she seemed to say. Superman chuckled, adding another spoonful of sugar while trying not to accidentally crush the measuring spoon. "You know, I've saved the world 100 times, but this might be the hardest thing I've ever done." The camera followed them closely, the fluffy cat directing the mix, swatting at flying flour like it was a villain, and Superman, floating gracefully, whisking batter with the same focus he used to stop meteors. They worked as a surprisingly perfect team. Once baked, the cake emerged golden and glorious. Marmalade took a small bite, blinked slowly, then let out a satisfied purr. Superman smiled. High praise from the master. As the two shared a slice, sitting on the windowsill under a glowing sunset, the city hummed outside, unaware that their hero and a sunglass-wearing ginger cat had just changed the meaning of baking with a partner forever. And somewhere, deep in the internet, a viral video titled "Cat with Sunglasses Bakes Cake with Superman" began trending.